Hey, what's up, BMWK fam? How y'all doing today?
Hello. Welcome. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited about this topic. As always, we are excited to be here in with our BMWK fam doing a BMWK takeover. We're doing a takeover talking about 5 ways married couples sabotage their sexual satisfaction.
Yes, indeed.
Can you say that? 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 5 ways married couples
sabotage their sexual satisfaction.
That's what we're talking about, guys, tonight. And so we want to drop a few things on you. My name is Aiyana, my aunt.
And my name is Ayize, my aunt. We are the founders of BlackandMarriedWithKids.com. We're both licensed therapists. We do couples work, coaching, counseling, individual work as well. We get it in. We're married. We've been married for 17, going on 18 years. Together for 24 and got 5 children, y'all. So this is what we do. We do it all day, every day. Every day. And so we're here. We're so excited to be here with the BMWK fam doing what we do. And we want to give a special shout out and thanks to Lamar and Ronnie Tyler for allowing us to grace you all's presence on this platform.
Okay, so wherever you are watching us from, drop a comment. Let us know where you're representing from tonight. And we want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts as we talk about these 5 ways that folks sabotage their sexual satisfaction. And folks are in the house right now, right? Not everybody. There are plenty of first responders and people who are not first responders, but folks have got to get up and go out. But wherever you find yourself, what I am seeing, and I'm thinking that you're seeing this as well, what we're saying is that whatever is going on in your relationship, whatever is popping in your sex life, or is not popping, it gets intensified during a lockdown situation.
Yes,
if
indeed.
You are in an area, and I don't know where there isn't really an area that's been affected, where you can't really go out like you're supposed to, man, folks are feeling the effects of the sexual disconnect intensified, you know, and so we know that this is something that a lot of folks are dealing with. So the first thing I want to say to you is to know that you're not alone, that you're not by yourself. A lot of folks find themselves in that place, but you can do something different, but you cannot do anything differently if you don't know what to do, right? And you don't acknowledge that there's an issue in the first place. So tonight we want to talk about some things you may be knowingly or unknowingly doing to sabotage your sexual satisfaction. So welcome again tonight. We see Battle Creek, Michigan in the house, South Carolina, Alabama. Y'all are representing tonight as we talk about these 5 ways that you might be, or maybe somebody else might be, sabotaging your sexual satisfaction. All right, number one. I'm going to go right to here because I think it's very easy right now during this time when folks are in the house. Number 1, not knowing when to turn off work. All right, Miami, Florida, we see you, James. Not knowing when to turn off work. So if you already had an issue with that, and you already had a problem with that, you were kind of a workaholic, you were paying attention all the time to your phone, sending emails at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Back and forth to your supervisor or to staff or what have you. Now, because there's no separation for a lot of folks, there's no distinction between your place of work and your home, and everybody's doing everything in the same space, a lot of folks are doing this even more. And because there's no separation, you get up in the morning, you know what I'm saying? You go down to the kitchen you own. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Thank you for those hearts and those likes. I want to know that y'all are feeling what we're talking about. You're working in the kitchen. You're trying to help your kids with stuff. You come back up to the bedroom. You're working. You at the table in the dining room and then in the bedroom at night because there's no distinction and no difference. And so working, not knowing when to turn it off. It's usually, it's not always, but it's usually one partner more than the other. Both folks can be involved in that dynamic, but it's usually one partner who's like, yo, you gonna put your computer down? You gonna come over here? Can we watch a movie? Or you might just be in your feelings and don't say nothing. You just be looking at them. You don't invite them over to do nothing because you're just mad. Whatever it is, definitely that's going to impact your sex life and what y'all do at the end of the day. What's up, Fenda? We see you. That's gonna
Maryland in the house.
That's gonna affect your sex life at the end of the day because you're not gonna be turned on or feel inspired to do anything when you feel like somebody is prioritizing work over top of the relationship. So that's number 1.
That's number 1. And so real talk, y'all, you know, we just keep this thing 100 right now. You know, when it comes to being in this space right now, you know, my wife, she mentioned that everybody might possibly be stressed, experiencing some element of anxiety, and really don't know how to deal with the increased pressures of being around the people that you say you love on a regular and consistent basis. And so we have a tendency like to retreat, to escape, to go to those places of comfort, to secure ourselves and to make sure that we feel comfortable, even when we're around the people that we love. And so we're stressed out. Again, you might find yourself engaging in some self-isolation in your home because you don't know how to deal with the current reality of what's going on outside of your house. And so you try to get away from the kids. You try to get away from your spouse. And that's not a good thing. And so that's actually creating a wedge in a relationship because there is no intimacy, no sexual connection, no sexual engagement, which definitely causes challenges in the long run in your relationship. And so it's really important that you recognize that when it comes to this piece right here, you really got to be intentional about connecting in with your partner. And so one way to do that, y'all, is to number 2, monitor your bedroom routines and habits.
So this is, that's what they need to do.
Yes.
But what's the messed up thing they be doing in the bedroom?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Y'all be having the TV on all night long, right? I mean, and it's hard because I'm a CNN junkie. Any CNN junkies in here? I want to know what's going on, what's happening, right? CNN is on in my household. All of that is happening. So if you have that on in the bedroom, if you're not taking time to emotionally connect in at the end of the day, you don't have any rituals in your bedroom. Yeah, rituals. That's the word I use. Write it down for my note takers. Then that is going to block and prevent your connection and your sex. It's not a secret to most married folks that for women, the way that we get ready for sex is that we need to connect emotionally. There needs to be a heart space, right? Men, on the other hand, also can benefit from that, but it's easier for them to just be physical and then open up the heart space through the physicality. So if I need to feel you, then we got to make space and time at the end of the day in the bedroom to have some rituals. What might that look like? I mean, it might look like making sure that we have some pillow talk, some time for that. That you are making sure that in the evening, what do you do? Do you light a candle in your bedroom? Right? Do you, I don't know, burn a little incense? Do you make the lights a little bit low, take a bath together? Ooh, take a shower together? What can you do and have some level of regularity around it? So again, you break up the space that is really occupying your household now, and you make sure that you make time for things and energy and atmosphere that would encourage sex and lovemaking. So that's important. Make sure that those bedroom habits do not get in the way of your connection.
And let me be very clear. When it comes to these bedroom habits, y'all ladies, when you get in the bed with your husband...
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
Don't be tucking the sheets in super tight.
Oh,
some of y'all try to cocoon yourselves and tuck yourself in so tight that you're like actually blocking. You're blocking an opportunity for intimacy to occur. Stop doing that, y'all. That's one thing. Hold on. Let me keep on going. That's one thing. Number 2, night gear is really important, y'all. What you wear in the bed is extremely important. And so you want to make sure that you're intentional about putting on something. Now, this goes to the fellas, too. You can't be wearing the holy socks, the church socks to bed. I mean, that's not a good look. And so you want to make sure that you're putting on something that might be a tad bit appetizing, seductive, alluring, that might make him or her want to pursue.
So you don't want a bonnet.
You don't.
He don't want a bonnet. You're going to get a bonnet sometimes, because once I get in this bed, I'm not getting back up out.
So. You're tripping. And so again, if you want the connection, if you want the intimacy, if you want me to reach out and extend myself, the men in one respect might still do it anyway, but a lot of men won't. Women might still do it anyway, but a lot of women won't. So you want to make sure, again, that you're being careful and mindful about how you're positioning yourself and how you're showing up in the bed.
Hold up, Fender. You say I call that mummy sheeting.
Yes, mummy sheeting.
Yes, just roll up.
Can I keep it 100 real quick?
Get real tight.
I'm going to keep it 100 real quick. So some of y'all got these onesies that y'all like to wear to bed.
I have not worn that in a long time.
And the reason why is because you can't find the onesie that you used to have. I threw that thing away.
Threw it away?
My wife, she had a dinosaur onesie, y'all.
Wait a minute.
And I bought it for her, so it was really my mistake. I bought it for her, but she had a onesie.
You threw it away?
I mean, it disappeared.
I did not know.
It
See,
disappeared.
we moved from one state to another state, so I thought I just lost it.
It disappeared. And so, again, y'all, them onesies, if it's going to be a onesie, make sure it's cute. You can go out there and get them bamboo sheets, bamboo pajamas, something like that. But
that's cute.
I mean, some of them might be all right. Some of them might be alluring, but the one you had wasn't.
Thank you.
And I bought it.
You bought it. Yeah, I like to be comfortable.
Yeah.
But I know that it's important to make sure that we pay attention to how we're showing up in the bedroom. So your bedtime rituals, we got to be on point with that. If you're just joining us, I'm Aiyana. This is Ayize. We're the founders of BlackandMarriedWithKids.com. And we're talking tonight about some ways that you might be sabotaging your sexual satisfaction. And absolutely, right now, while more of us are at home and we don't have distinction of time and space between all the things that happen during the day. So we got to be really, really intentional about it. This next one, number three, y'all, is letting y'all laughing. Huh? Y'all laughing at the onesie. I can't believe he threw it away. I'm about to go to Amazon.
It just disappeared, man.
And order another one.
Just get a cute one.
Okay. So number three, y'all. Number three is this. This is for everybody. A lot of folks think that it's just for the sisters, it's just for women primarily, but men deal with this too. And we can tell you this from our own professional experience working with both men and women in relationship. And that is letting your inner voice, your critical inner voice, rule you. Because there are a lot of folks who have insecurities. There are body image issues, right? Performance anxiety. We know that for women, a lot of times, you know, you just don't kind of look the same way. And, you know, you look down, sometimes I look down at my stomach, I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? What happened? You know? And I'm like, woo! And my husband like try to give me a hug and he touched my stomach. I'm like, don't touch my stomach.
You're beautiful,
you know?
man. You're
right. But and I appreciate that. I do. And I receive that. But it is one of my sensitive, vulnerable places on my body, my tummy, right? I have 5 children in this tummy. So because of that, you know, I know that impacts the way I may show up, right? And there may be things that we don't recognize in terms of some of those insecurities. Men also, and women, deal with performance anxiety. And we know that as men get older, that erectile dysfunction and being able to not just get an erection, but to maintain that and to be able to stand the test of time in the bed, you know, that becomes more of a challenge. And so these are things that you may have been with your partner for years and years and years. Right? You and your spouse have been doing this thing, but you all are, you know, uncovering new things that you haven't yet had to deal with. And so those kinds of things are important. The first thing you have to do is silence your own critical inner voice and make room, you know, create a soft space between you and your partner, right? And make sure that there's room for them to talk about how they're feeling, how you're feeling. Again, that's about communication, and that can happen at the end of the day when you're having that bedroom space because you've cleared that up and you got some rituals if you're very intentional about it. So make sure that you're aware of that, you know what those things are, and you pay attention to your partner and you really try to, you know, reinforce the positive. And listen, you see how you just did that, baby, but you're beautiful, right? He did that. That kind of stuff matters. It's important. It's important. Yeah, so that's number 3.
That's number 3. I'm gonna jump off our 5 points really quickly, and I just want to look this up and say, you know, if you have not already, you know, joined or participated in our free training, 7 Keys to a Rock Solid Relationship, please do so. The link is in the description. Please sign up. It's coming up this upcoming Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So please sign up. The link is down below. What I also want to say to y'all is that one way in which married couples sabotage their sexual satisfaction is that they simply don't prioritize sex. They simply don't prioritize it. And so, you know, a lot of times what people have a tendency to do is, especially when it comes to being overwhelmed with work, one other area of responsibility that sometimes women lean into more is managing and dealing with the children. That can serve as a block, y'all. It really can serve as a block because you can't be doing homework. It might be algebra, it might be calculus, I don't know what it might be. But you can't be doing homework 24/7. You can't be providing that type of assistance and oversight. Sometimes you're doing it because it's your safe and comfortable place because you don't want to get connected intimately with your partner. And if you're doing that, if you're using that as a buffer or a barrier to block intimacy, you're sabotaging your sexual satisfaction. So again, you need to prioritize sex. Sex is essential to sustain a relationship. And we're not exclusively talking about penetration. You can experience sex without penetration, y'all. But what's most important is that there's a connection. And so again, if you're not prioritizing it and you're allowing other things to supersede the act of sex, then what you're doing is you're giving permission for something to be the downfall of your relationship. The kids are important, but they got their time. So you need to draw a boundary. Draw a clear boundary.
Let me tell you, there's a little episode on what's the little Bill? The Little Bill.
Quiet Time.
What's the name of that show?
Private Time.
What's the name of the show?
It's called Little Bill.
Oh, Little Bill, the cartoon Little Bill. Okay, I know everybody got their differences about Bill Cosby, but Little Bill, that cartoon show is a great show. If you go on YouTube and you look up
Tuesdays.
private time.
Yeah, private time.
We
private time.
sat down our teenage children and made them watch this episode, Private Time. And it's just talking about how mommy and daddy need private time.
Yeah.
We need time to be able to be by ourselves, with ourselves, right, without children. And this is important. And a lot of times we feel guilty. We don't know that, oh, man, I need to like say, no, baby, I'm not, no, you can't come in here right now. No. You know, and we don't want to do that. But what that really reflects, the more you do that, what that should say to you is that you have a hard time perhaps setting boundaries. And when you set boundaries, good, strong, healthy boundaries, you not only help your marriage, but you help your children, you help those around you know how to operate with you, and you model good, healthy behavior for them. When you have no boundaries, it might feel good in the moment that you're right there for everybody, but you used up and, you know, almost dead at the end of the day. And then your children grow up and take on that same counterproductive behavior. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. It is okay to have time just for you.
I was so psyched when I found that episode, and what's even more funny is the fact that we ain't got to use that for our 4-year-old. It's not our 4-year-old, y'all. Our 4-year-old understands the concept of private time, but it's our 13-year-old, it's our 12-year-old, and maybe sometimes our 15-year-old. Actually, our 15-year-old is good, but the other two, they be all up in our space, all up in our face, wanting that time, which is a good thing, and I love the fact that they want to connect. But private time is really important. Check it out. Lil Bill, the episode called Private Time.
Private time. Y'all let us know what y'all think about that. All right. So again, we're talking tonight about some ways that you might be sabotaging your sexual satisfaction. So far, we talked about bedroom habits, TV in the bedroom, not taking time to have rituals at the end of the day, bath time, candle, making your environment inviting. We talked about a lack of boundaries, not knowing when to turn work off, keeping your computer and your phone with you all the time. There's no distinction. Also, same thing with the kids, no boundaries. And we talked about letting your critical inner voice rule you. And so fifth and final, y'all, focusing on what you're not getting instead of what you can be giving. This is not just for sex, but it works wonders when you really get this. I think by nature, y'all, I think we as human beings tend to be a little selfish. You know, we tend to want what we want the way we want it. We think you should just get it. How many times have you said that? You should know. You understand. We've been together how long? You should know what to do. And, you know, I'm tired of this or what have you. And if you would just start to focus on what your partner is looking for, perhaps you might begin to model for them what you want from them, right? If you consider them, go the extra mile to perhaps, I don't know, initiate sex because they asked you 1,000 times and you haven't done. You done like 2. Right? You take the time to show them that. Perhaps, you know, you woo your wife a little bit differently, and you don't just come at her and like, you know, tap her on the butt and like go, nah, like maybe she wants like, you know, give me something, you know, that I can work with that makes my heart flutter a little bit. Perhaps you extend yourself that way. And even though you are not perhaps getting what you want, and even though that's a risk, right? Because we're going to risk a little bit of rejection because they might laugh, right? Out of discomfort or like, what are you doing? Right? That kind of stuff happens. But when you do that, you've shown your partner that I am here with you. I'm coming for you. And I'm trying to show my best. And you're focusing on what you can be giving. It automatically shifts the energy in the relationship. We got to stop focusing so much on what we're not getting, because when you're focused on your boo and they're focused on you, guess what? Everybody wins.
And trust and believe your man wants you to focus on what you can give him. He does. He does. And so,
just,
you know,
like we do too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the reality is that when it comes to being in a relationship and just this whole act of sex and intimacy, what's really interesting in the couples that we work with, now when people come and sit before us, whether it's in person or primarily virtually, the experience is normally going like this. Both people want sex. Both people want connection. But even though they express that they want the sex, the intimacy, the connection, the closeness, the synchronicity, the energy, the vibe, that close, connected, bonding type of lovemaking, even though they express that they both want that, neither one of them is willing to extend themselves outside of their comfort zone to go get it.
Extend yourself.
Go get it. But like my wife just mentioned, you want to prioritize giving it.
Yes.
You know, if you seek to please your spouse before you seek to be pleased, then it's going to benefit the relationship so much. And you'll be benefited as a result. It's a reciprocal dynamic that's at play, y'all.
Yes. And hello, Dora. You said hello from Cali. We in Cali now. So hello, neighbor. All right, guys. I hope that this has been of help to you. Was this helpful to anybody tonight to just give you something to think
some
about?
Hearts, some likes or something.
You know,
if y'all,
anything.
If
it was helpful at all, I would love it if you shared it, or if you made a comment, or just drop some hearts, or just drop what really stood out to you. And also drop things that have been helpful for you in your relationship. You know, you may not want to give all the details, but we're all here working together to try to really increase our ability to go to another level in our relationship. Good. I'm glad to see that. So again, we have to be focused, especially during this time, on making sure that we create distinctions between work and kids and just us time, and you know, all these other things that we're responsible for. It is really, really important during this time when you're in the house a lot. Okay, Kayla, you just came on and caught it. Go back to the beginning and watch it as well. You got to be willing to do that, but you cannot change what you will not acknowledge. So wherever the issues are, you're not going to move in it, and you're not going to do anything differently to get the satisfaction that you want sexually if you're not willing to acknowledge where you may be coming up short. And it's not necessarily because there's something wrong with you. Matter of fact, it ain't. 9 times out of 10, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you need to use some different tools. You need to be made aware of some things, right? Love that. Fenda said relation schedule. I like that. Relation schedule. We talk about scheduling sex all the time, but I'm about to start using that. Thank you, sis.
A relation
schedule. Yeah, put it on the calendar. Stop getting caught up in like, why I got me on the calendar? That's not romantic, whatever. I'm telling you something. When it's on that calendar and it's coming and you see that thing pop up as a reminder, you're like, oh, both y'all got the reminder?
Yeah.
Look over one another, right? And then to add to that, make one person be responsible for initiating and pushing it forward and going back and forth. So, guys, focus on that sexual expression. It is a great stress reliever. It is a connector. It is a bonder. And it is a requirement. A beautiful, loving requirement in marriage. Again, definitely click the link below. Join us on our free training this Wednesday.
We're going to be talking about some more sex stuff.
7 keys
to a rock solid
relationship. And we will see you soon. Peace, y'all.
Peace.